Barcelona versus Manchester United. Let's talk about it. Champions League match. Barcelona 1, Manchester United 0. And it was that close and that gritty of a game. Suarez, you could say, scored a goal around the 12th minute, but technically it was considered an own goal from Luke Shaw. I don't know necessarily that he had that much of an impact on the goal direction, but Busquets played a ball about 30 yards out, about 35 yards out, into the middle of the box where Messi was. Messi took a loose touch to the left. Messi crossed the ball, almost a chip, far post. There was 4 Manchester United defenders in the box, but Suarez was wide open for his header. He had it on frame, on target, glanced off of Luke Shaw, and went into the back of the net. Initially, this was called an offsides no goal. VAR went and evaluated it and confirmed that it was a goal and that it was going to be an own goal. 1-0. And up until then, Barcelona they were playing with a lot of space up front. They had a lot of overlapping runs on the side. Jordi Alba was attacking the left side, overlapping with Rakitic. You had Semedo overlapping on the right side with Artur, and they were getting open. They had a lot of opportunities. They had a lot of space. It almost looked like the game was going to get away from Manchester United in that first half. As a matter of fact, the stats for the game, Barcelona at the end of the game had 67% possession versus 33% Manchester United. They also had, and the real story of the game is this: Manchester United had 10 shots on goal, but 0 were on frame. 0 were on frame versus Barcelona had 6 shots on goal and 3 were on frame. And I mean, Rashford had so many opportunities. Manchester United did a great job crossing the ball from the outside, getting opportunities in the box, whether on the ground or in the air. For the most part, they had a lot of opportunities. They were all being cleared out by Piqué, Langley. You had, Rakitic pulling back, stopping those. So they had a lot of service on the outside, which I think ultimately made Barcelona stop pressing down the sides. Initially, they were doing the overlapping runs, but as you saw, the game went by, they were much more comfortable pulling back and taking less risks. That's not something you typically see from Barcelona, but Manchester United was putting thumps on them. Manchester United was hitting them. Manchester United was putting what I like to call a little extra on every single tackle. In the 30th minute, Smalling came in, fully intended on hurting Messi. I'm not saying it was a completely inappropriate tackle, but he went in. Messi was standing for a header. Smalling cut inside, hit him with a shoulder, and smacked him back with a hand, gave Messi a bloody nose. And as you can see in typical fashion, Barcelona doesn't complain. They don't whine as much. Manchester United, boy, for a team that puts so much extra on every single hit, they throw their hands in the air complaining for everything. There was opportunities for Manchester United to continue pressing the ball, but instead a call didn't go their way. They turn around, look for the ref. As soon as they find the ref, they throw their hands in the air and start complaining. These are wasted opportunities, to be honest. And I thought that, to be fair, Manchester United, they were creating quite a bit of opportunities. They were attacking great from the outside in, with the exception of Ashley Young, just really sometimes such poor service. And he is the captain, and when he's playing bad and complaining and showing his frustration on the field, it's infectious to the rest of the team. You could see all of Manchester United had that same feeling of disgust, throwing their hands in the air, full of frustration, and if they would have just composed themselves. They were at Old Trafford. They were at their home field, and they had the stadium momentum, but unfortunately they were unable to capitalize. There was a lot of good performances from Manchester United, but it just didn't result in goals. This series is in no way over. Any team can win when they go back to Camp Nou, but it was clear that Manchester United was putting extra on all their hits, and it made Barcelona a little timid. And you could see that. And it was a notable thing. In the first half, Barcelona, well, I'd say the first 15, 20 minutes, Barcelona had space. They were playing with mojo. They were playing with energy, passing from the outside in, overlapping runs. Coutinho had space. Suarez was doing give and goes. Messi was doing give and goes. They had a lot of mojo in the front. After they scored that goal, and I don't know that it was necessarily indicative of the way the game was going, but it seemed like they kind of pulled back a little. And whether that was because Manchester United was so effective on getting balls delivered from the outside to the inside of their box, they even had a great opportunity playing the ball behind to Rashford. He almost got there. Luckily for Barcelona, Ter Stegen was on point, and he was able to press forward and cut that run off. But Manchester United did have a lot of opportunities, and it was very telling in the second half when Coutinho was pulled out, and so was Artur, and Vidal came in for Sergio Roberto. Those are two players that when they come in, they provide a little additional defensive strategy. A lot of times they'll come in and there'll be opportunities for overlapping runs. You get someone like Vidal in, it's almost like having a second CDM, right? It's not a left winger, but if he comes in, that's a signal that they wanted more of a defensive presence. And around the 65th minute, it was clear that Barcelona needed to calm down, gather themselves, and put some heat on their defense. But so that was telling to me, and I'm not sure exactly the formation, but it looked like for the last 30 minutes of the game, Suarez and Messi were up top. They weren't as connected to the game, but a lot of that game, Manchester United was not. They were not committed to possession, but they were committed to creating opportunities in front of the goal. Unfortunately, Rashford just didn't come game ready. You have Lukaku didn't have a lot of opportunities, and then you had Ashley Young kind of giving away a lot of easy stuff and just kind of throwing his hands in the air. But ultimately, they had Barcelona on their toes. Barcelona was back on their heels, They didn't want to get exploited at an away game. And with those subs, it was very indicative of making sure that they did not give this game away. I don't think Barcelona was very happy with the 1-0 win, but I think they accepted that the energy and the power and the way the game was going, that they did not want to sacrifice a goal. So at the end of the day, Suarez scored, maybe Suarez didn't, but Luke Shaw gave Barcelona the very first win ever at Old Trafford, and I think this is a series, this is on. The next game will decide who goes on, and I don't think that either one of these teams is guaranteed to move forward. With that being said, it was a very gritty game, had a lot of energy, a lot of thumping, and I do think that Manchester United made sure the game didn't get away, but they did have a lot of opportunities that they were unable to commit on, and Barcelona seemed satisfied, whether it was because Messi seemed a little out of it, a little hurt at the end, or if they just felt that Manchester United was coming with the youth, coming with the speed, and they were satisfied with 1-goal lead. We'll see how the next game goes. All right, guys.